What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a live Cantina Hour with Hopsgeek News. Of course, I am Matt, as always. Alongside me is Lauren, and today we have a special guest. We are bringing back the guest. We're taking it back to the days of old where we used to invite breweries on, and we have a really special guest. So Justin from Two Silos will be joining us. He hopped in as I was hitting live button, so we will go to him in just a second, put him on the spot. But like I said, as I always say, I should say, go ahead, check us out, Hops Geek News, all of your favorite podcasting platforms. That's where you're going to find us. Cantina Hour is new, and this is where we're going to be going live, talking with creators, breweries, all sorts of things. It's a very low key, kind of chill, just vibing out kind of ordeal, and not always going to be every week, but most weeks as we've been going on recently. So thanks for hanging out with us. My beer actually comes from our guest. It is Citralicious. Jeez, I can speak. It, like I said, from Two Silos. It's right up the road, man. Manassas, Virginia is not too far from where I'm at in Williamsburg. I haven't been to the brewery yet, but I promise you, as I kind of got some pictures and we're going to talk about all the great things that they're doing there, God, it's got to be up the list now. And Virginia low key, since I've moved here, has had some really good brews. So that's what I am drinking. Lauren, I'm going to throw it to you. How's it going? Welcome back from Puerto Rico. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Guinness because it is the Wednesday before St. Patrick's Day, and I do have some Guinness fun facts and some St. Patrick's Day fun facts to wrap up this Cantina hour with. So I don't have a proper Guinness glass though. That is on my to-do list, but I do have it in a Florida Keys brewing glass that's in the same shape. But I mean, you can never go wrong with a Guinness, and I'm drinking here with my favorite drinking buddy, Oh Tigger.
Ooh, that looks like fancy. Yeah, it's you can never go wrong with
So
that.
fancy. Disney store circa 1999.
Dang, that
Or
old,
you meant
huh?
the beer was fancy.
Well, I
Yes,
mean
I'm
both.
now.
1999, Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Woof. And I was in high school then.
Well, as we get to our guest, Justin, I know you kind of hopped on as we were going live. I apologize for that, but hey, man, welcome to the show. Thank you to Micah for hooking us up together. How's it going? You got a beautiful, beautiful night out, man. I was just telling Lauren that right now the temperatures are immaculate. So how you doing?
Great. I just got home from work.
Oh, nice. Yeah, busy
First beer.
day. All right. Well, let's throw it to you, man. What are you drinking?
This is Copper Coins, which is an oatmeal stout we just released last week.
Ooh.
Nice and smooth, chocolatey, little coffee, some residual sugars, so it's a little sweet and smooth. Like if you like ice cream or chocolate or Guinness, but it's better than Guinness.
Nothing's better than Guinness.
I can think of a lot of things that are better than Guinness.
Yeah, Matt actually is not a Guinness fan.
Believe it or not, I am not overly lit large. Like, I don't know. Guinness just tastes kind of watery to me. I like a beer with a lot of flavor profile. So that one right there sounds
Matt's just
right
like
up my alley.
spewing out fighting words. I mean, no, that beer sounded fantastic.
St. Patrick's Day. Aren't you supposed to like drink beer and
bastard.
fight? Like, isn't that like an old Irish
Oh,
tradition?
yeah, all right. But you're supposed to drink Guinness and fight.
Forgot to show, man. I got the nice IPA. It's as soon as you open this, so this has like fresh tangerine puree in it, and they didn't filter it, and which we're
That
going to
looks
talk
amazing.
into some of the brewing processes you guys have. But dude, this is immaculate. I've been craving like a good IPA, especially as it gets a little warmer out. You sit on the porch, enjoy a nice beer. Shout out to Patrick in the chat as well. If you're in the chat, go ahead, drop in, say hey. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook page, all of the good stuff. That's where we're at. So, Justin, go ahead, tell us a little about what your role within Two Silos is actually.
First of all, I want to apologize that your care packages are going to get sent out tomorrow.
You're good, man.
To get them to you before the show, but it's right now we're in a transition time because we're moving from things that we do indoors that are normally done outdoors. We're moving back to outdoors and getting a 6-acre for the season. We build these bigloos. It's a week-long, maybe 2-week construction project to get them up, and then we try to get them down in less than a week. So the guys been working.
Oh my gosh! So you have to do that every winter? You do that?
Yeah, well, we're lucky to be able to do that because we can host 150 people inside this thing, and it looks really cool. Our experience is, first and foremost, we're an entertainment venue, and we're all about experiences. We do want to kind of knock it out of the park by having quality beer. But when you're out there hanging out on, it's a farm basically that's been changed into this campus. So we're working on things that will improve that experience even more, so you can stay there. And we want you to work nearby, come play and stay, or make it a destination for like Disney World for adults that love beer. Basically.
Hell yeah. I'm
I
into
love
that.
that.
I do have I did pull the picture off. This is kind of like your summer layout, right? Like you got a lot of outdoor things going on. This looks like the perfect vibe, like all sorts of, and I was looking too. I mean, you guys do a lot of events because like you said, you're kind of like the Disneyland for adults who love beer, and you guys are also like a lot of musicians are coming through there, especially in the I was looking at your monthly rundown, and there's a lot of people coming through. So it looks like it's ramping back up too. Do you guys stay consistently busy with people coming through, like musician wise and events?
Yeah, we do music Wednesdays through Sundays. Karaoke on Tuesday, and we take Monday off to kind of catch back up with production. You can see all those people there. That's like that on Friday night, all day Saturday, and then on Sunday. So the guys need another day just to catch up to make sure we stay ahead of demand. Uh,
Mm.
our beer is super fresh too, so especially uh, nowadays with the lower IBUs, the freshness, the haziness, the additional ingredients bring that drinkability and sessionability. If you're going to hang out with us for a few hours and watch bands, we want you to be able to stand at the end of it. Uh, Triple IPAs are rare these days, and the drinkers are getting older. Like I remember, I started my career in Dogfish, and
Oh, you started at Dogfish Head. That's cool.
we would pound 90 minutes, 120s, and I can't do that now. It's not sustainable. Yeah.
Oh, 120, man.
You have
That's
a
like
couple of
barley
those,
wine.
and it's the next day is a little harder to get up as we do get older. Yeah, we found that one out the hard way.
Yeah, for sure. And you got a little girl. I'm blessed to have her, so I can't be hungover. It's just not my.
Kids have no respect for hangovers.
None.
None
Kids are
whatsoever.
ruthless. We each have girls as well, and I have a son, so I can attest, especially the my girl, she's 5 and relentless, just relentless.
I have to ask you if you're a Michael Jackson fan. Either.
I do.
The
I do
beer Michael
enjoy.
Jackson or the
Oh no,
musician?
I love that you asked that question. I remember performing artist Michael Jackson, the late MJ.
Yeah.
But we're having a tribute series. We do tribute series in the summer, and we've decided upon 2 of them. Red Hot Chili Peppers called Red Not Chili Peppers. We had them. They were super fun. And then this year we're doing Michael Jackson. So if you can plan your trip up for that situation, I think it would be worthwhile.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
And he has all the dance moves. He has a full band, backup dancers, the whole 9 yards. So, and all my team will dress with the single glove and the Thriller jacket.
Oh yeah.
So do you guys get a lot of tourism up there for the brewery and a lot of beercations in that area?
Absolutely. Being where we're at, if people are coming to visit the district, especially this spring, with the cherry blossoms and so on, it's like hotels are a little bit more wide open out where we're at in western Prince William County, and then obviously it's not as condensed. But people from DC will come out our way, from Maryland, Loudoun County, Fairfax County, and then come east from as far as Harrisonburg, and so on. So, yeah, it's part of a destination for you. So if you're vacationing, and then we're in the process. Our parent company, Villaggio Hospitality Group, is building a boutique hotel with Hilton called Tempo Hilton, and it will be built for next season, and it'll have a speakeasy in it.
Oh wow.
A restaurant.
That's so cool.
And we're putting a distillery. Our partner with Morlarkey, distilling partner, they'd probably love to be on your show at some point, but they are building a facility on our campus too. So if you're into whiskey, if you just want to stay, the Black Sheep is actually in the building where the Two Silos name comes from. There's 2 silos from the original barn built in 1949 called the Thomason Barn, and that's where we get our name from. And the Black Sheep is the restaurant there. It's Southern cuisine like you wouldn't believe.
Ooh.
So like we're just
Okra.
Everybody's needs and wants.
Nice.
Whether you're planning a corporate gathering or if it's just you and your friends hanging out by one of our fire pits or something like that. So,
yeah, it's definitely a place I have to stop. It's not too. I was just in DC Friday, and surprisingly, like it only took me 2 hours to get to DC. So to get to you guys, it's even less because I had to go right by Manassas just about. And it's also another place because a lot of people vacation there, I'm sure. Because if you're like me, I'm a wicked big history nerd. And Manassas has some pretty awesome, depending, how you feel about bloody Civil War battles, pretty awesome history out there. And it's a beautiful country. So I definitely got to get out there. And you are actually the general manager. So do you do any involvement within like making the beer? Like what's your involvement as general manager? Because some people are like, I'm the general manager, but they're out there doing like a jack of all trades at sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we've moved a little beyond the startup culture, and I think when you start out, people do different scopes of work. My focus is the development of the team, executing the events, and just being on top of service. When we have people travel, like you say, to come see us, we want to make sure we can satisfy them in 45 seconds to a minute 10. And when you're up there, the lines move quickly. We don't
Yeah.
feel like you're at Six Flags.
So then it's not like Disney.
No, than Disney, but we also won't walk over trash if it's on the ground. It's very clean and pristine.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Disney got it right. If you do work for Disney, they are definitely big on cleanliness.
Yeah.
Same. Forrest Morgan is our head brewmaster, and he is the co-founder of Two Silos. So he and a really small team of 3 dudes are making all of our beer. So when they do a variety pack, they're doing that by hand.
Wow.
We do canning almost by hand. We do have great machines and excellent brewing utensils, if you will. But we as operators, we need to know about the products that we're selling. So we do spend some time training in the brewery, and we work hand in hand. We always are looking at quality, with its monitoring temperatures, if it's looking at pressure and understanding all those tools that we have. And we're lucky to have those guys. They're very handy. But my main focus is on the experience of the guest, and being able to support my team to take care of these people, 3,000 people on a Friday night,
Wow.
look after them.
How many breweries, especially this day and age, right? It can say that they're getting like 3,000 people easily on a Friday night. It's a testament to what you guys doing. And shout out to the brew team. I mean, for 3 people, you guys have a pretty robust tap list. Looking at your current taps, you have a good variety. There's a lot of good IPAs. There's I saw some stouts on there. You've got even some like cocktail things going in there. So you guys have a pretty robust. Is that kind of just all throughout the year? Do you have any like seasonal beers that you like to phase in, or is it pretty much? Because I know like some of your flagships, like the Mosaic Goat, that's one that I've had. It's delicious. So kind of what are the flagship beers and what are the ones you love to roll out during different seasons?
You have one of the flagships that's Citralicious. Mosaic is a flagship.
Delicious. Just want to sing it.
Yeah. Main Street Lager is another. And then we have one that's kind of seasonal adjacent, if you will. So right now we have a dual situation going. We have the Irish Red Ale. This is,
yeah.
I've almost sold out of the 6-packs in 1 week, which is taking them home. So we produce the right amount to keep demand where it needs to be able to not have leftovers.
Yeah.
This one and a few. And then, like I told you, Copper Coins I was sipping on. We released this 2 weeks ago.
I do love that can.
Look at this old guy.
I love that.
The story behind this one, I'll tell it for Forrest. He was on a trip to Ireland, and he would stop at all these small pubs, and he saw these 2 old fellas arguing over who was going to pay for their pint of Guinness. And one of them put these coins up there on the table, and he was going to do it, and he covered it with his hand, and he knocked it off the table and said, "Your shit money's not welcome here." And he basically called it copper coins. It wasn't worth anything. So he called this thing Copper Coins. And all of us have stories like that. Forrest is very focused, smart, good at taking the right amount of risk. And then Mark, the founder of the parent company, he's a visionary. So he sees these ideas and he pushes them with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. But the focus for us with like the core beers is making sure that we can hit the demand. So we just attacked the state of Virginia first. I think that we've seen the craft beer industry overextend itself sometimes.
Yeah.
And we want to be in it for the long term. So, focusing on overall experience to your location and diversifying your options that you have on your campus for people. So, we do have cocktails on draft, and as an operator, I get to make those decisions and those ingredients and things of that nature. We also have the seltzers that they make because we want to meet the market's needs. And like if you have a family of 8 come and 4 people maybe not like beer, we have plenty of options for them. A full service bar and really great bartenders that can, they would be excellent in a club atmosphere, but they are working with us. Yeah, it's a lot more fun and laid back. And
fun. Yeah, I was going to say much more less of a hassle than a club atmosphere can be, for sure.
Yeah, we're not there late at night. We close at 11 most days, and we're family friendly. So we have a playground on campus.
Oh, cool.
So.
I've only ever seen that in Texas.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. We in Florida, we have like not much land. Like I've been to like one brewery in Florida that had a lot of land, and that was over by Gainesville, and it was, next to UF. So there weren't many playgrounds in that area, but I guess real estate's just smaller for breweries in this area. But I thought that was such a cool idea when we went to Austin, and we didn't have our kids with us, but I was like, and it's outside and in the woods, which looked very similar to kind of what you guys have with all the trees.
Yeah, for sure. People just having fun. We have a large area for people to play cornhole, and we use food trucks that are permanent. So we put them there, 3 different ones during the season, and plus we cook food in the poorhouse. We have an awesome chef team, and so the food's not like a second thought for us. It's definitely at the forefront, and then offering all kinds of different choices for people. So La Gringa, you can get empanadas.
Oh,
I love empanadas.
Right now, we have something called Everyone Eats on campus, which is a food truck that will move around the community in Northern Virginia. It'll fight food insecurities as well as facilitate private events. And that has the best smash burger I've had. It's better than Five Guys. I'm not just saying that. I wouldn't mention it if it wasn't killer. We have Papa Chulo with street tacos that kick.
Oh, yes.
The director of culinary is excellent at Central American foods. And so you can tell it's not just something we're throwing together. It goes through a testing process, vetted. We put a lot of great thought into it and training as well.
Now, we've talked quite a bit about the brewery, but we're also a geek-themed podcast, so we have to ask everybody their origin story. So you already mentioned that you were at Dogfish Head before this, but how did you get into the world of craft beer?
I was working for Famous Dave's Barbecue, and obviously we had been opening some restaurants, and I had lots of friends. I try to have good relationships with people I work with. And this industry, even if we're in the DMV, it's a large populated area. It's a small industry. You're going to run into people again. One of my best buddies went on to get a bartending gig at a place called Dogfish Ale House. And I would stop there because I was working in Falls Church, driving here to Prince William County, and that takes like an hour and a half. So sometimes stop, and it was only 27 miles, but it would take an hour and a half. So I would stop and have a beer, and he knew I loved bourbon, so he introduced me to a beer called Burton Baton. And Burton Baton is an English strong ale blended with the 90-minute IPA and then aged in oak barrels, and it's 9%. It was I fell in love with the flavor profile, and then started to dive into what this Dogfish brand was all about, and discovered who Sam Calagione was, and his emphasis on being kind of a rebel was appealing. The music series that they had, because I've really been a music geek all my life. So, doing a beer with Pearl Jam or Robert Johnson, Miles Davis, all that was super cool. And then a friend, they had a position open up, and they knew that I was really into music and events and things of that nature, and also like really focused at doing a great job in a regular restaurant. So getting the opportunity to work for Dogfish Head and the Ale House Group was something I couldn't pass up, and I'm so glad I took that opportunity. And they got to meet Sam several times and get in on the creative and create events that were centered around not just, like it is now. We were about experiences at Two Silos, and Dogfish. The reason that they're a sustainable, successful business is because they understood that you can't just do beer, but when you do the beer, do it great, but also work with collaborative people, whether they be artists or musicians, various charities, and then look at unique processes and take risk. Like we had a chocolate lobster stout. Like we cooked the lobster in the boil kettle, then made the beer,
Interesting.
and then ate the lobster with the beer. It's like,
Oh man.
yeah,
I don't know why, like oysters and lobsters, like it works in beer. It's so weird. It's like a good oyster stout is delicious.
I think
I'm yeah, no, you're right. It is something weird about that. Like because it doesn't have like that taste. I'm a texture person. So oysters and stuff isn't my texture, but in beers, it's oddly
I never
enough.
eat oysters, but I'll drink them. Hell, I don't even eat meat, but I'll eat meat and I'll drink a beer with pork or whatever in it.
right
All
on.
my rules go out the window when it comes to beer.
It's true.
And I saw 2 silos get built. I live just 5 minutes away. My
Well, that's
wife,
the perfect spot. Then she can just like look over the fence. She's like, "All right, I see him walking up the driveway. Fine."
and as I just turned 41. So as you get older, things kind of change in your priorities. So my priorities now, community, family, the neighborhood. And then I'm blessed to be able to be around music all the time, and then beer and really cool, eccentric people who make the beer and consume the beer. Right brains and left brains working together. It's pretty fun. And
See,
I'm not in traffic for 2 hours. So
that's
that's,
No,
true.
yeah, that makes a huge difference.
He's
No,
he's
it
mentioned
is.
family a lot. Hold on, real quick. I gotta
Oh
ask this
gosh, are
question.
you gonna do? Oh geez, here we go. I know the question.
When's the Fast and Furious beer coming out?
what? Are
I'm just kidding. I'm a big Fast and Furious fan, so Vin Diesel's big thing is obviously family. So you're
uh,
talking family.
oh, are
I
you
just
a Diesel man? I really appreciate that.
I I love me some Fast and Furious and Vin Diesel. So it's like you're speaking my language, family, and all that kind of stuff. But Lauren, go ahead. I'm just acting a fool.
I don't even. Oh, I was just gonna make a comment about like bullshitting at a good craft beer bar with other people is always so fun because yeah, you get to meet the right brain people, the left brain people, and everybody has a common interest, which is the beverage you're drinking, and wanting to do that as well. So I think that's awesome that you have that and that you found one with music. So when you decided to go to Two Silos, was the music a factor in taking that job because you love it so much?
Absolutely. Between Dogfish and 2 Silos, I got the opportunity to open in a startup culture a music venue called the Monument in Winchester, and I really dove into um, talent buying.
Uh-oh.
It's
Oh,
he's
sorry.
building anticipation. There we go.
I know. I was like, oh, what happens next?
Learning about I was in a band when I met Micah, actually, when I first moved to Virginia, and then I think he was dabbling in guitar, things like that. So it was always just out there trying to meet new people that wanted to make music with me and
What
stuff.
do,
So
what do you play?
I'm a singer, so I'm cursed that I can play some piano, but I'm good at writing lyrics and singing and owning a stage. So um, I always was, I say forced. It's a blessing and a curse to be working with a drummer, multiple guitarists, and writing and composing music with them. Um, you learn how to work with people.
Oh yeah.
You travel with those people in small vehicles for hours at a time, and a lot of times you're using your own money. You don't make any money, especially when you write original music. So it's all about your passion and your love, and you're around people that are also passionate and love what they do. And then I find that music background translates to business, or when obsessive people are passionate and putting their own money, their own capital into what they're doing. Um, there's a great deal of investment there, both mentally, emotionally, spiritually,
Oh yeah.
stuff. So it kind of helps where maybe somebody who just came from a business background wouldn't know what to do with men are emotional people, and a lot of times you work with men and these great smart women too. But uh, you got to understand how to navigate that, and how to sit back or come forward with ideas and solutions. So I don't know if that answered your question. That was
No, that's good. I asked
That's
because
the
I do
podcast for you
enjoy,
because
yeah,
it's so
I do
fun.
enjoy playing bass myself. That's one thing I've always played. So it's always interesting to see like a lot of people like, oh, I dabble on guitar, but a singer that's like really cool. Do you like have a band you guys play at the brewery ever?
no. Whenever we turned 30, we all decided that if we had a couple of shows left. I think our last show we played with Black Veil Brides, and then before that we got a.
All right, hold on. Time out. So you're telling me, are you in the emo scene?
It was, I mean, a lot of the fans, because of the way that the composition of the music went with double bass, different, big ballad sounds. But I wouldn't say emo because I'm a Southern person. I'm from Tennessee, so I can't pull that off. And
Hey, Matty Mullins in Memphis Mayfire is a screamer, and he can pull it off, and he's from Tennessee. So don't say never.
Whitechapel's my favorite Tennessee metal band. But
Dude, we got ourselves something here because I need to know, when is Warped Tour coming back to Two Silos? When we were young, we're bringing it to Two Silos.
I just had a guy reach out to me. Actually, I think he called just a minute ago. That's why I looped around. That he has an emo cover band that does like Taking Back Sunday, all kinds of like Coheed songs and all that kind of stuff. So, My Chemical Romance.
Emo nights are like the big thing right now. A lot of people me included, emo nights. I took Lauren to one, and
we went.
I didn't mean to get off topic and like go crazy, but like that's too funny. Yeah, I took Lauren. They're the big thing right now.
But it's like, I don't consider myself emo, but a lot of those songs were very popular, and I knew most of them. There was only a handful of songs I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good road trip with a Taking Back Sunday record.
Yes,
I'm a big Blink fan. I will say that, but I didn't know that was considered emo. I think until I met Matt.
I mean, it all kind of was. It was that genre of like the early 2000s.
Like
they're the ones that kind of paved the way for.
Popular.
They're like post-hardcore. A lot of them are kind of considered that. You have Census Fail, and all those that are kind of the post-hardcore shit. They paved the way. My Chemical Romance for modern day emo. See, we can do a whole music theory class. Listen, like, how much time do you got, Lauren?
You guys gonna ken me? Pull out your guitars.
We will
teach you about but I'm sorry, didn't get me to off track. Once you saying once you guys turn 30, kind of go your, and it makes sense, especially once you start having a family. It's harder to do the road thing.
Yeah, we wanted. I mean, at that time, like I think 2 or 3 people that had, maybe an offer, and it's like you get a stipend. You got to basically default on your car loan. You got to, so,
like merch cuts. Everyone's taking merch cuts. It's just, this is not paying the bills. It's not paying, and then you're cramped in this little van, and it's not the glamorous life a lot of people think.
Well, and I'm the same age as you. When we got out of college and stuff, the economy wasn't so great.
No, you needed to work for sure. Yeah, but we didn't want to be the cover band that takes themselves too seriously, or like old dudes that are still singing original music trying to take themselves too seriously. But it ends up, we're probably like right now, I would love to do that. And I think there'll be a point in time in my career where I have a little bit more time and maybe a garage that I can jam in, and that's totally cool, as long as you're just doing it for fun here and there and a little bit of vacation maybe, because it still feels good to do it. So that might happen, but I'm really obsessed with stuff when I do it. So when I went into a career at Dogfish, I read the Michael Jackson writings and studied to try to get ahead of people, so that I eventually became the guy teaching beer classes.
That's fun.
Obsessing over it. So, I obsess over business and how to best train and develop people and lead people, and just stay ahead of that and be the best I can be at that. And, once the career I don't know if it'll ever, but if it levels out, I'd love to play as just something to, like a healing type of thing, where guys go fishing, go golfing. I'd much rather write a song.
Yeah, I'd much rather get punched in the face in a mosh pit, personally, is my sense of healing. And a lot of people don't understand that, but there's something about just like music, like live music, man. I think what you guys at Two Silos really have, it's smart. And you mentioned being big on music yourself. Like you mentioned, people come for the beer, but a lot of what like people open breweries and stuff. Well, everybody,
or they're just taking it to go. You want them to hang out. Yeah.
Exactly. It's about the atmosphere, and you guys crafted something for families, because, craft breweries are really, a lot of people like to mention like, oh, there's a bunch of kids, but really it's people, I'm 33. So like my age, and then obviously up through, elder millennials,
40,
right?
We're elder millennials.
We're all at that.
I have another guest on here that's my age.
We're at that stage of life where it's like, yeah, we do have families, but we still want to be able to go out and do things. And so we can hang out at a brewery, having a kids playground, and then there's live music, like all of that stuff. And then the fact that you have a sous chef, for example, that has crafted this incredible permanent food truck scene, all of that combines to
all day.
Exactly. It sounds like I could spend the entire day, and that's vastly vital to surviving as a craft brewery in 2024 in the modern day.
Yeah. I think sometimes people get it confused about what craft really means. And there was a point in time there where craft was an elitist idea almost.
It's like a beer snob thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It became genrefied like metal, you know,
Mm.
where you someone who is opposed to someone who liked mainstream music as a person simply because of their, passion for music. So with craft beer, you didn't want to isolate anybody, and sometimes that happened, and then you would over risk your taste profiles by doing extreme hopping or taking things to crazy extremes that were beyond creativity. They were just doing it to one.
Right, for shock value, or yeah.
And then we saw what happens. With before Prohibition, there was a lot of, and they were regional. Prohibition wrecked the world of beer, and it wasn't until mid to 2010 to 14 that um, finally the amount of breweries equaled that to before Prohibition. Um, then you had a situation that happens in always in capitalism, where the overextension of capital, return on investment wasn't coming back as fast. People overprojected sales growths, and the big guys came in and bought things.
Mm.
And that happens in all business when a boom or a bubble happens. But I think that craft beer will remain in America, and it will become regional, and it will become neighborhood, and it's kind of settling out right now. Uh,
Mhm.
there's only so much space in a grocery store,
Yeah.
so you got to kind of just find your fans, find loyalty, and grow smart.
Right.
Don't go crazy. This is America. You can get 60,000 different types of candy, so why not have tons of choices for beer? I think people were bottled into like 6 types of beer forever, and
Yeah. Or yeah, all you have are IPAs.
yeah,
Yeah, and a lot of people are burnt out on that. No, it's crazy that it took that long to recover, and we're still recovering from prohibition. Like, a lot of states, including Florida, we still have the three-tier system, which is nonsense. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, what it was, doing after prohibition. But thank goodness, thanks to people like Michael Jackson and people who went to Europe and was like, hey, there's good beer over here. And now we're seeing Europe be like, hey, America has good beer. We should try that. So it's kind of fun that it's gone back and forth across the pond to see, beer just getting better and better.
yeah. The 3-tier system's wild. So two is right
Yeah.
next to Black Sheep, right? And then what we have to do is go into distro to deliver it to the person right next to us. So
Yeah.
that keeps that distribution, those premium Constellation, those brands stay huge because they have their finger in it. It's
Yeah.
sometimes a little ridiculous, but
We
it's
have,
all you got to do. What you got to do.
and I don't know how it is there, but in Florida, like we have a brewery that will have 2 locations, but they only brew at one. So they have to sell their beer to the distributor who then sells the beer back to their other location, but they have to pay right away, but they don't get paid right away.
Yeah, that works that way.
It's like, what?
Yeah, the 3-tier system's federal, so it's going to work like that all over the place. Oh no, are you still there? Sorry.
Oh, I
We are.
think in
No, you're right.
California,
Lost you.
it's I think isn't that why Sierra Nevada, I believe, did so well, was they don't have the three-tier system. And so Ken Grossman was able to sell directly. Don't quote me on that. I read the book a while ago, but I believe that was one of the things that helped Sierra Nevada get so big, was they were able to skip that intermediary. But again, I haven't read the book in a while.
Okay. The cool thing about why people were putting breweries on the East Coast?
Because there's more people. I don't know.
I feel like it's going to be a joke.
No, I'm not. I'm not telling. Sorry, I should have cool dad jokes, but I don't. It costs more to send a truck from west to east and then send it back east to west. So, like,
Huh.
if you send a truck west, it'll always come back with something going east. But if you send a truck east, it won't always come back with something west
Huh.
because of agriculture and so on and so forth. So it all comes down to shipping and receiving when it comes to why you saw a huge the water is important, is the most important ingredient in beer. So the amount of water source in the East Coast, especially North Carolina, Virginia, and so on, and the hardness level of the water, and then most importantly to people that invest is getting return and money.
Mm.
Shipping beer west is cheaper than shipping beer east.
That is
That
interesting. Well,
makes
and
a
then
lot of sense, I
yeah, you
guess,
saw the
'cause
big guys, like Sierra Nevada now has a location in Asheville because they're like, "We're not sending that over there anymore."
yeah, we're
Yeah.
tired of shipping stuff. Like that's I never thought about that. Lauren, this kind of makes me think, taking a quick break. Lauren does a beer school typically. Her big thing is beer school. We're bringing it back. So, Lauren, why don't you go ahead and deliver us some quick St. Patty's Day beer school?
Yes, these are more so just fun facts, so I'm not going into a full beer school. Some of these are just random things, articles I've come across over the years, but I did actually get to sit in on a Zoom during COVID that was really cool with one of the guys who works for Guinness in the States, and he was doing it for Girls Pine Out. So I got some of these fun facts from him, which you always think it's in beer, the more you know, the less you know, or you think you know everything and then you don't. So Guinness did not actually begin with stouts, as the style hadn't even happened yet, but now Guinness is practically synonymous for dry Irish stout because they of course have perfected it, unless you are Matt and you don't agree with that. The Guinness Book of World Records comes actually from the brewery, as it was created to settle arguments. Of course, now we just Google it. We wear
What?
green because leprechauns can't see green and leprechauns pinch.
Interesting.
The ball inside the cans, I don't have it in the bottle, but if you ever get like the Guinness cans, you got the little ball in there, and that is called a widget. During the canning process, the brewers add pressurized nitrogen to the brew, which trickles into the hole along with a little bit of beer. Then the entire can is pressurized. So when you open the can, the pressure inside the can drops to equalize the pressure in the room. Since the pressure inside the widget is so much higher than the pressure in the beer around it, the nitrogenated beer from the inside of the widget squirts into the beer, providing a burst of tiny bubbles of nitrogen gas that rise to the top of your beer, giving it that thick, creamy head that you get straight from the tap. Pouring a Guinness beer is a 6-step process that involves a minute and 59.5-second break. And I always think it's so funny when you order a Guinness and obviously it takes a minute. I always know if I order a Guinness, especially when I'm at Epcot, I'm going to take a minute. And I had some guy be like, "I hope you get your beer one day." And I'm like, "It's an art. You have to wait for it to settle." Like, I know they have to fill it and they have to come back and everything.
It's
So
art.
it's worth the wait. And then you get to watch it and it's so pretty. Nigeria has more Guinness drinkers than Ireland. More than 160,000 pints of Guinness are lost to facial hair each year. That is disgusting. And they should do a Got Guinness ad, but they might get sued. Extra foreign stout is more bitter, much like the IPA story, which there's theories that is not factual. However, this is one of the things I learned from the guy that worked at Guinness is they added more hops to the beers to distribute it to the islands. And if you go to Jamaica, you go to the Bahamas, that is the one thing I know I can always get when I'm in the islands is an extra foreign Guinness in the Caribbean. So
Huh.
I'm love drinking them. I mean, they're heavy beers, but they are delicious on the beach. They're delicious everywhere. The yeast Guinness uses is only for Guinness. The founder of Guinness was Arthur Guinness, and he opened the brewery in 759. And if you order an Uncle Arthur there today, you'll get a perfectly poured glass of Guinness. I would hope that they would give everybody a perfectly poured glass of Guinness. But I don't know. Arthur Guinness signed a 9,000-year-old lease, but eventually Guinness just bought the property. St. Patrick was British, not Irish. March 17th is the day it is believed that St. Patrick died, so we're celebrating his death. And many people use St. Patrick's Day as a break from Lent. So my Guinness is gone. I'm
Ah.
drinking an IPA now, but Slanche.
Interesting. It's because the British don't have any really good beer that I found yet. I guess we're gonna find out when we go on our cruise, but
Yes. If
uh
you want more fun facts, Hop Culture actually sent out an article today talking about Guinness, and somebody went there and got to sit. I don't know if they sat down with somebody, but I scanned the article. Definitely worth checking out. Hop Culture always has some great beer articles. So if you want more info, go
check
there.
it, dude. And we are with Justin, the general manager of Silos Brewing out of Manassas, Virginia. So we want to gotta know, speaking of beers, flagship beers, what is your favorite beer that you guys brew at Silos? Do you have a favorite one? It's like picking your favorite kid. We know nobody has one, wink wink.
You have a
But
favorite kid different days. Depends
I have a
on
favorite son and a favorite daughter.
much like
It's
beer.
easy
Oh,
because
see,
I
that's
have
not
one of
fair. I
each.
have two daughters and one son. I
Well,
can't
that's
play
your
that
fault.
game.
But we would love to know,
It
do
is
you
my
have one
fault.
that you just absolutely love to go to?
Yeah, Mason. I'm almost out of it. I've had it for almost 2 months now. Sorry, I was moving around, but my really dramatic backdrop.
It's getting darker out. We
Yeah.
understand.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but it looks pretty.
Yeah,
It
I know.
does.
Light on though. I was fading into the darkness. Mason favorite so far. Mason is like, and this, I love. My friends make fun of me because I'm a Tennessee hillbilly, basically, that's made it in the Northern Virginia market and has, diverse friends of different education background. So they like to poke fun at me here and there. And I love Dale's Pale Ale. They like introduced it to me, but it is superior to Dale's Pale Ale, and it is better than a 60 minute. It's right in between those two flavor profiles, and it has a retro Toyota logo color scheme, which is cool.
Nice.
And it's just like it's so good. Like I never could not drink four. I have a problem with that. It comes in 4 pack. I say I'll have two today, two tomorrow. Then I end up just playing Madden, and then I end up drinking the next two. So
This man,
it's
listen. First of all, like you're playing Magic, and this guy, it's a man. Like I like you. You're welcome anytime. Like anytime you come on the show, man. Playing Madden. Hell yeah, dude. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like you're just speaking my language tonight.
I was worried y'all were gonna ask me a lot of stuff about comic books because I only really liked the X-Men, and my favorite was Spawn, and I'm really
Oh,
Spawn movie that I've been looking at since like 2017 is supposed to come out, and allegedly
oh,
Jamie.
Todd McFarlane has been saying this for how long now? And is it ever gonna come out?
They say Jamie Foxx is doing it, and the last thing my buddy knows I'm obsessed with Spawn stuff, so he'll send me updates. But like I forget the name because I don't know Hollywood names. Maybe you guys have computer handy, but someone is writing the dialogue or the screenplay that writes screenplay in scary movies and like thrillers. So that would be amazing because the movie I watched when I was in high school was garbage. Um, and it didn't do the movie. It didn't do the comic justice. So that's all you'll get me on like nerding it out with comic books is the Spawn.
Oh, yeah.
It,
So
I knew he was
it's
gonna
a
be on top of it.
it's a Blumhouse backed movie. So Blumhouse is big into the horror genre, like Blumhouse does. And so it's Scott Silver, Malcolm Spellman, and Matt Mixon. They're writing it. It's been in developmental, whatever. But you are right that it's the horrors. Like Blumhouse does really good. They just did that movie Megan with the doll that just came out not too long ago.
oh, that
They've
was
done yeah, they've done a bunch of others. So if it's a Blumhouse, I actually kind of have hopes if it does come out because Spawn is very horror esque.
yeah. I think that would differentiate that whole all the Avengers and all this stuff. I think they were going to rate it R too. So
They
like
should.
an R-rated comic movie, that's amazing. And
Right.
the darkness, the kind of scary vibe, like that would be awesome. So that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping for Jamie Foxx. So
I do because I remember watching the original one, like John Leguizamo, and then I forget his name, but he played like a Bronze Tiger in the Arrowverse. Lauren, he's been in a lot of stuff. That was actually I thought that was a pretty solid movie. They did a pretty for being what like the late '90s. That Spawn movie was actually fairly well done, and the comics have been something that they've been coming in and out for a while now. The comics are pretty decent too if people follow those at all.
Isn't that one of the first ones that put Image like on the map?
Yeah,
I've
Spawn
never
kind of
seen
got
it
them
or read
going.
it.
Shout
Like
out
Master
DT in the
Gale, yeah.
chat. But no, man, see, like what we like to do too, like when especially because you're being with the brewery, we are big beer nerds. The whole Hops Geek News thing kind of came about. We during COVID got together because we were just posting beer pictures on a joint Instagram page. It was called Hops News. And during COVID, we weren't doing anything. And so it came like, hey, you guys want to start a podcast? That turned into let's raise money for breweries, their charity of their choice, on a live stream every single week. And so we were doing that. And then Lauren and I just kept talking about how shitty Game of Thrones was at the time, primarily me. And we went on
I
random
was defending it
tangents.
more so. You were shitting on it.
Yes, but
Nope.
then so it devolved into us going into Hops Geek News. We haven't done Hops News in a hot minute. Jeremy is our guy. He works for Two Realm. He's their CFO.
Two Realm,
Wicked
New Realm.
New Realm. I said
You
Two Realm because
combined
I'm
two
looking at just
silos and New
yeah.
Realm.
Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
New Realm. That's in our what we messed up section.
That's what they should call their second brewery, Two Realm. I like that.
Two Realm. It's like two chains, but Two Realm. So he's been busy. So, but we're comic book nerds or movie nerds, but we're just as big as beer nerds. And so when we get to talk to somebody like yourself, we haven't talked to a brewery in a while, and this is part of the reason we've wanted to invite somebody on Micah hooked us up and get to do a Cantina hour where we get to just kind of have a beer and talk with amazing people such
Did
as
open
yourself.
another beer.
What are you drinking, Lauren?
Is that number 3?
No, this is what I'm drinking. It's a 6-foot India Pale Ale by Two Tides in Georgia. So my husband was somewhere in South Carolina recently and drove through North Carolina and brought a bunch of Two Tides home. Wasn't anticipating drinking the Guinness so fast, but Guinness just goes down so quick. So this was supposed to be my beer for when we recorded our next episode.
Sauced one.
2 Chainz original rap name.
I don't.
Isn't that 2 Chainz? Didn't they do the Turnover Chain?
No,
Turnover
that's
Chain, Turnover
Miami
Chain.
University.
And it's I know it's for University of Miami. I have the can right there. I can see it. But I thought 2 Chainz sang that.
I don't know about that, but 2 Chainz original rapper name was Titty Boy.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Because if you ever listen to his raps, you'll hear him say Titty Boy sometimes, and that was his first rap name, like before he was famous.
Solo D sang Turnover Chain. My bad. Why do I know 2 Chainz? That is a terrible name.
2 Chainz? Yeah, everybody.
Because you wear 2 chains instead of 1. I mean, you got so much money, you can get a second chain. That's like.
I mean, but then when you get richer, do you change it to 3 chains?
It's like putting your 401k on your body.
Oh man.
Lauren.
I'm trying to see what he sings. I don't know. I can't do this like Matt does. I can't pay attention to 2 things at once. What do you?
You don't have a Jamie. You got to get a Jamie. Matt is Jamie and the Joe at the same time.
I'm doing everything. I'm out
the guy
here.
in the chair and the guy on the TV.
The guy in the chair, the guy in the top left corner. I'm the guy who's just squirreling away. I got to ask though, being from Tennessee, are you a Titans fan?
A little bit. I'm mostly a University of Tennessee fan. I was going to
right on. Go Vols. Okay.
I mean, it's kind of, I didn't understand at the time, but like when you're little and you go to a Neyland Stadium like on a regular basis, and then you move to Northern Virginia, like I went to the year we won the national title and all that. Like I've been to so many Tennessee games. I'm blessed to say probably 50 or so. So like, then you go to FedEx Field and you're excited because you live in a town that has an NFL team and it sucks at FedEx Field.
It does. FedEx Field is a dump.
Everything about it sucks. And I just was like, okay, it's going to be very hard for me to be a Redskins fan. I would have been a Titans fan probably if I'd have stayed in Tennessee. They didn't start that franchise until I was in my freshman year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
They had that miracle in Nashville. That was cool. Like I supported them. But I'm from East Tennessee. So East Tennessee has a little bit of a beef with Nashville in general because Bristol Rhythm and Roots kind of says it all. Bristol is the birthplace of country music, not Nashville.
They got a great NASCAR track too. For anybody who doesn't know what Bristol is,
yeah.
Bristol's like the little bull.
Yeah, I could hear the races at night.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where I grew up, you go outside in the backyard, you're throwing football or something late at night, and you could hear it. Just sounds like the largest swarm of bees in the world.
Yeah, my dad lives in Daytona.
I got a weird enjoyment for NASCAR. I don't know what it is, but something about it. I think because I grew up kind of watching NASCAR.
But you don't like country music, and I feel like you would not like that. That's so funny. Maybe were you a big fan of Cars growing up?
I don't know shit about Cars.
Well,
I mean like the movie.
I do love Fast and Furious. Oh, the movie Cars? Yeah.
Lightning McQueen.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I didn't think were you into Cars?
It made sense. Something about Fast and Furious. I love campiness. That's really what it is. And Fast and Furious has long gone into the realm of just unrealistic, just like my expectations, because I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, of making it past the NFC Championship game one day. And Aaron Rodgers not being a complete nutcase and going away in a darkness retreat. Even though I'm from Massachusetts, so it makes sense.
That's about to spiral down.
Anyways, sorry.
You got a great running back this week. Josh Jacobs signed
a
deal. Yeah. So
we lost Aaron Jones though, and I'm still not over that one. It hurts. It hurts.
I think it's an improvement, unfortunately, because Josh is better in a isolation run scenario. So
he's younger too, and 26 versus a aging running back who's hurt. But we'll see what happens. I am a big sports fan, obviously, as well. So getting to chat some sports, it's pretty rad. But I know we are going to be wrapping up here soon. It's getting dark there. We've kept you a while, so I want to know
to the inside. Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry at all, man.
I look like a floating orange head.
It's pumpkin season. I do have to say, yes, Patrick, we have lost so many good players. We lost Simone Biles' husband, Chicago, for example. But what are the beers, like if you're making a flight for somebody who shows up to your brewery, they're like, I don't know, make me a flight. What would your flight of beers look like for this person that's maybe never had your beer before?
All right, it's going to change depending on what month it is. But for right now, I'm going to do Irish Red first.
Yes.
That's fair.
This thing is excellent. Then I'm going to go Copper Coins, which I talked to you about. Then I'm going Mason because it's almost out. And then I'm going to go Triple Dare.
Is that a triple IPA?
Yes. And so here's the problem with my mindset is that I'm thinking triple IPA has got to be 100 IBUs. No. Forrest Morgan, the VCU grad, the engineer I work with. This guy's like, no, absolutely not. Take the IBUs and just throw it out. Stop talking about it. It's not really scientifically proven. There's, you can do whatever with probability and statistics. You can twist the numbers on this, but international bitterness units is old school. So low IBUs, high residual sugars, extra flavors, lots of dry hopping. Dry hopping is not going to change your IBUs. It's going to change your aromatics. And the Triple Dare is going to smack you around. It's good. It's like lollipop for IPA fans. So,
now do you have a can? Do you can that one?
No.
I was just wondering if it was a Nickelodeon label. That's
I can't tell it to you at the brewery right now, but you can get. I think Total Wine has it. So like, Forrest is also smart in doing that too. He's like, okay, if you want something awesome, I'm gonna like work out a deal with certain retailers so you can get it there. And
that's where I was able to get these.
Total Wine.
Yep.
Exactly. Good partnership. Great end cap presence. When you start getting into your Harris Teeters and things like that, those are Kroger brands. You start going to Giant, Martins, or whatever. Those are large brands. So the schematic and the seasonal play of like changing the facings in those sections, like I told you, the grocery store situation is crazy. Like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they pay to have their product placed in certain places. Frito-Lay does the same. Anheuser, Coors, Miller, they all have their investment in grocery space. So he's like, all right, whatever. Let's do Total Wine. Let's get a whole end cap. Let's diversify it, and then let's give them exclusivity on certain SKUs. It's a good move.
Well, I mean, not for nothing too, but you see like the rise in canned cocktails as well as taking up a lot of beer shelf space that used to be more craft beers. And then I think the beauty of places like Total Wine for me personally is I like to craft my own 4-packs, whatever it may be. So you can go in there and like, I can get, Citrulicious as a one, and then I can get Mosaic Goats, and then I can try different various things. So that also opens up your portfolio. Like somebody maybe sees 4 different beers from 2 silos on the shelf at Total Wine. Well, they can try those 4 different beers, which is what I like to do when I go to a brewery for the first time, is try a flight of beer. So it's kind of the same, and it just diversifies and it gets your flavor profiles out there to people, allows them to really kind of get to know your brewery, even if they are 100 miles away.
Yeah, for sure. So it sounds like when I send these care packages out, I got to make sure I say you like Guinness, Lauren. So
yeah.
Copper Coins is your jam, and then you like Mosaic or no?
I do, yes. So Lauren's a big like hazy fan. I'm a big, like stouts and IPAs are big on for me as well.
I'm about any kind of IPA, but I'll tend to lean towards the hazies. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm thinking about the packaging, what I'm going to send. And then we have Goats in Space right now. You can't get Goats in Space. Are you?
I am. So I'm in Williamsburg. I can only, so I go down to Newport News to my Total Wine because I work at the base down there. And so I can only get right now, they only had Mosaic, and then they only had Citrulicious in Total Wine right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna send you Goats in Space because it's like double the ingredients of that situation of Mosaic Goat.
I gotta ask then, do you guys have goats at the brewery?
No, we don't. If you think back to a goat, right, and you know about Viking culture,
a little bit.
Oh, like the screaming goats?
No, The Vikings believe that beer came from the titties of goats.
The
Okay.
Vikings drink a lot.
Exactly. So it's kind of a play on that, I guess. I can't speak for Forrest. I need to get Forrest on your show. He'll nerd out with you if you want to talk to somebody that's a
I just
mechanic.
got to come up to make the drive up, honestly, and
Yeah.
just come hang out with the guys and have a beer or two and just bullshit is what it sounds like. More
Oh,
so.
for sure. Yeah. That's what you need to do. Yeah.
But because there's a lot of like goats, like mosaic goats, goats in space. I'm just like, man, my wife and I've always talked about owning goats. So like, if I just tell her they have beer named after goats, I already know she's gonna be in.
We've had petting zoos on campus for weeks.
Ooh,
Yeah, that happens.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So something we did, um, is we went and carved pumpkins in like this little goat pen, and so like the goats are kind of like helping you core out the
'Cause
for
they're
whatever
eating
reason.
the
So
pumpkin.
that's like a fun event that I thought was really fun that kids would love to. But anyways, I digress. Lauren, do you have any final questions? As I know we get to wrap up. We've held this man again,
No,
for
I think
so long now, and
all my questions were answered organically if I didn't get a chance. So, and those are the best answers to get are the ones that come up naturally. So,
that's true.
yeah.
Very true. Justin, thank you so much. Sincerely, really, really do appreciate you taking the time out. You worked all day. You hopped on with us for an hour, had a beer. I have to get up to the brewery. Seriously, I cannot wait to get up there for a multitude of reasons. And so I'm hoping to make that happen here in the next few months as we're kind of getting out and exploring, and look forward to sharing a pint with you in the actual brewery itself.
And
Yeah.
once I fly up, Matt will have a map for me to
Actually, Lauren, get up here in June. We'll just drive right up for a day.
because you've only been living there for 6 months now.
I moved here in August. So if you come up here at any point, it's not that far away. We can just drive on up for the
the map
day,
is
and
bad at all.
just saying,
Oh, I know.
Well,
son of a bitch, I'm in.
I'll be in Delaware June 22nd through the 29th. Other than that, I'm
Actually,
all yours.
He's here. Other than that, pencil him in, pencil him in.
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously, man. Thank you guys. Let people know, like, if anybody happens to be watching the stream, what are some events that you guys happening here in the next couple of weeks?
Well, the biggest one is the week of the 21st. What we call the yard. So Farm Brew Live is the stage essentially, and then the yard is all of the 6 acres. So the six acres starts to come back to life between the 21st and the 28th. We get out of hibernation essentially. So anything happening in and around the month of May is super important, and then look out for our tribute dates that are coming out. Any kind of themed events that we have. Our Oktoberfest in late September is clutch. We do it right. We really appreciate and take a good nod at the traditional
got the live music,
German music and German food, as well as
do you do Steinholding?
the forefathers of beer. For the most part, even if you're drinking Mexican beers, that's German recipes, and most of our American recipes are based on German ordination as far as beer. So people were in monasteries hanging out, making laws, and we're still following the purity laws as much as possible.
Weird, or just archaic.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, every German beer I've had, I love German beer. They're all just so delicious, so good.
Yeah.
It's like I do love the hazies, but damn, like a good solid Doppelbock or an Oktoberfest, or so good.
Yeah, you gotta grab the goat by the horns.
Hey, ooh, I like that. Well,
Plus, saying Reinholzgebot, even if I'm butchering it, is fun to say.
It is. No, you did good.
Thanks. I practice in the mirror at home by myself in my dirndl
every day.
every day.
Thanks for having me. This was fun. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, man. Anytime, we would love to chat again. Thank you for hanging out. Everybody who might have popped in here for the first time, it's been a good amount. Hey, like, subscribe, share, follow, all of that good stuff. You can find us right here, Hops Geek News, right? I'm gonna throw right in the middle. Geek, beer, obviously Lauren threw the supernatural in there because we do the supernatural thing once in a while. But hey, that's where we are. Hops Geek News, podcasting platforms, social media. So there's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we are there. And big thing for me is on Friday night, you can find me and Megan from the Mediaverse we are going to be crushing an absolute stellar panel at GalaxyCon Richmond, where we are going to be doing the comic books you should be reading. Kyle Higgins will be joining our panel for that one. It should be live streaming on our platforms. I should have it set up to do that. Make sure you're paying attention because I'm going to probably do it through StreamYard. That means it's going to go everywhere. Follow our pages for that. And then Saturday night, we have a history of the Dark Knight. So a history of Batman. And also, we're going to be exploring some different breweries in the Richmond area that I haven't gotten to go to yet. Micah's going to be with us. Shout out to Micah for hooking us up with Justin. And yeah, man, find us here. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody, we will see you next week with another exciting, probably Cantina Hour.
Have fun this weekend. Make good choices.
Make good choices. It is St. Patty's Day. Have a good beer. Have a green beer. Have some good food.
Go with
Be
a red
safe.
Irish ale or a Guinness. Skip the green
Get that
beer.
Irish
It's so
red. If you're
2008.
in the DC area, I got a feeling you should be going to 2 Silos. We'll see you there.
Slanche.